But we do begin tonight with the other global headline late today, Princess Catherine revealing she is being treated for cancer. The Princess of Wales delivering a video message to the world saying she is undergoing preventative chemotherapy.
After months of silence and worry following her cancer diagnosis, Princess Kate finally stepped back into the spotlight, and she did it like a queen in waiting. At the St. Patrick's Day parade, Kate arrived with power, grace, and authority, making it clear that she's not just back, but she's here to lead. The real shock wasn't just Kate's comeback. It was the reaction in the palace. What exactly did Kate do that caught everyone off guard? And why is Princess Anne suddenly worried about her? Join us as we unpack the drama rocking the palace right now. Crisis at the palace. It all started with a shocking announcement that disturbed not just Britain, but the entire Commonwealth. In early 2024, barely a year and a half into King Charles III's reign, he revealed that he was battling cancer. Remember that royal palace news always spreads like wildfire.
Buckingham Palace has said King Charles spent a short period of time in hospital today after experiencing the temporary side effects of his cancer treatment.
In no time, the news reached everywhere, leaving millions of citizens and members of the royal family worried. It wasn't just about a monarch falling ill. It was about the fragile future of the monarchy itself. Remember, King Charles had gone in for what everyone thought was a normal procedure for an enlarged prostate. Although it seemed like a minor issue, something most older men deal with then, when doctors took a closer look, they discovered something much more serious. The palace quickly went public with the diagnosis, and for a royal family that's often secretive about personal matters, this was huge. The news confirmed what many had quietly suspected. Behind the scenes, the royal household was in crisis mode. That's not all. Within days, royal experts flooded news outlets with grim predictions. King Charles's illness meant his public duties would have to be reduced, perhaps for months or maybe even longer. And with fewer working royals already on the roster, the monarchy's ability to keep up its centuries-old traditions and public engagements was suddenly in question. The pressure on the remaining senior royals like Prince William, Princess Catherine, Queen Camilla, and Princess Anne increased overnight. It was clear someone had to step up, but nobody expected what was about to happen next. 6 weeks after King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, another bombshell hit, and now it is not about Prince Harry or William having an issue with Queen Camilla. It was about the Princess of Wales, Catherine, known to most of the world as Kate Middleton. In a video message released shortly after, she announced that she was battling cancer. At first, the announcement felt almost unbelievable because now two of the monarchy's most important figures are diagnosed with serious illnesses within weeks of each other. And once again, the palace had little choice but to share it with the public. In a simple, heartfelt video message, Catherine opened up about her diagnosis and her decision to begin preventative chemotherapy. Her voice was calm, but you could see the weight of what she was carrying. For years, Kate had been seen as the steady, smiling royal who never put a foot wrong. Now, here she was, dealing with one of life's hardest battles while the entire world watched. After the announcement, the royal family's inner circle was shaken. The monarchy, already stretched thin after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's departure, Prince Andrew's scandals, and the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, was now staring at a future that looked uncertain and fragile. The number of senior working royals was already low. Besides Charles, Camilla, William, and Kate, only a few others regularly carried out public duties. Princess Anne, though hard-working, was well into her 70s. Prince Edward and Sophie, though reliable, were not considered part of the monarchy's future front line. It became clear that the spotlight was now firmly on William and Kate. Whether they were ready or not, the future belonged to them. Then, what would be the fate of the British royal family? Keep watching. We're about to reveal that. Faced with this reality, King Charles decided it was time to act on a plan he'd quietly been building since taking the throne. From the very start of his reign in 2022, King Charles made it clear he wanted a slimmed-down monarchy. Gone were the days of a sprawling royal family with cousins and distant relatives turning up at balcony appearances. King Charles envisioned a modern, efficient royal household, focused on a small, tight-knit group of senior royals. And now, with his health in question, that plan had to be fast-tracked. The plan was simple. All it involved was to concentrate the monarchy's duties, influence, and visibility around select working royals like Prince William and Princess Catherine. With Queen Camilla expected to support the king and Princess Anne already overloaded, it was only logical for William and Kate to take on more. What wasn't publicly announced, but quickly became apparent to palace insiders, was that Kate's role was about to shift dramatically. For years, she had been the polished, graceful Princess of Wales, quietly supporting her husband and handling her public duties with poise. But now, Charles wanted her to do more. Although details of her new roles were kept under wraps, whispers inside the palace spoke of Catherine being given new responsibilities behind the scenes. Decision-making power over public engagements, charitable initiatives, and even influence in palace operations was gradually being handed to her. This wasn't just about keeping up appearances anymore. Kate was being groomed to lead. And while the public cheered her bravery during her health battle, the move sent ripples through the royal household. And one person, in particular, wasn't happy about it. We are about to reveal the person. Keep watching. Remember, Queen Camilla had for years worked hard to secure her place within the royal family. Her journey from the most hated woman in Britain to queen consort was a long and difficult one. She had stood by King Charles's side through scandals, criticism, and public outrage. When Queen Elizabeth II passed, it was Camilla who stepped up, accompanying King Charles on his first tour as king, attending state visits, and quietly handling palace matters while avoiding the spotlight. Even after Charles's cancer diagnosis, it was Camilla who held the fort. She represented the king at major events, carried out engagements on his behalf, and presented a calm, steady image to the public. For Camilla, this wasn't just duty. It was personal redemption. After everything she had endured, she finally had a respected central place within the monarchy. For Kate, it wasn't about ambition. Those close to her said she never actively sought more power. But in a moment of national uncertainty, with the monarchy's stability on the line, she had proven herself to be exactly what the institution needed: relatable, composed, and quietly strong. And King Charles noticed. According to an insider, it was revealed that the king trusts Catherine because she gets the balance right, connects with the public, respects tradition, and knows how to manage tricky situations without making a fuss. While Camilla struggled to win over the last of her critics, Kate was becoming the monarchy's secret weapon. And with both King Charles and Prince William dealing with the emotional strain of having loved ones fighting cancer, Kate's calming presence became even more essential. As the palace doors quietly closed, one question lingered in the minds of those who worked closest to the royal family. And the question was, how would Queen Camilla respond to this unexpected challenge? And what would Catherine's first move be now that she held more influence in the royal family? Stay glued as we provide answers to these questions and more. Kate's ruthless first move. On March 17, 2025, after many months away from the public eye battling cancer, Kate Middleton made it crystal clear that she was back and she was in charge. Although people weren't just hoping to see her, they were also anticipating how her return would be. And now, when she finally stepped out for her first official appearance since announcing her diagnosis, it wasn't some quiet and casual visit. It was bold, deliberate, and perfectly timed. In a royal event held at the Irish Guard's annual St. Patrick's Day parade. The event was a tradition packed with royal history, symbolism, and media attention. It's the kind of engagement the monarchy uses to show strength, unity, and presence, especially during uncertain times. Kate knew exactly what she was doing by choosing this moment to make her comeback. She arrived wearing a flawless forest green coat, the kind of outfit choice that wasn't just about fashion, but about a message. Green is more than a color here. It's the color of hope, resilience, and renewal. And on St. Patrick's Day, it's a nod to tradition, respect for the military, and solidarity with the people. Every camera snapped, every pair of eyes followed her, and instantly, social media lit up. But it wasn't just the outfit, it was everything about her that day. From the way she carried herself, calm and poised, with a soft but firm confidence that seemed to say, "I'm still standing, and I'm stronger than ever." According to a close source, it was revealed that the crowd watching knew they were witnessing something bigger than a royal appearance. It was a moment of power, a declaration that Kate wasn't just returning to work, she was stepping into a new, heavier role in the royal family. And when she delivered her speech, it sealed the deal. Standing before the Irish Guards, Kate spoke about resilience, unity, and the importance of community when times get tough. She didn't mention her illness outright, but the message was there in every word. It was personal, it was genuine, and it hit people right where it mattered. As she delivered her speech, the crowd was silent.
To support you and to champion you in all you do. This is a responsibility I do not take lightly.
Not because they didn't care, but because they did. You could feel the emotion hanging in the air, and social media exploded minutes after the speech ended. People called her brave, elegant, and the royal family's future. What made the moment even sharper was the absence of Queen Camilla. Last year, it had been Camilla filling in for King Charles at the same event. She shook hands, handed out shamrocks, smiled for photos, and for a while, it seemed like she was stepping into a new central role while the king focused on his health. Camilla had built herself up for this position, believing she was now the queen consort firmly at the core of royal business. But something unimaginable happened. This year, she was nowhere to be seen. The decision to hand the spotlight to Kate wasn't random. It was a very strategic one. Palace insiders whispered about how blindsided Camilla was. She'd expected to hold on to these key engagements, to remain front and center while Charles continued his cancer treatment. But the royal household made it clear who the people wanted to see. And it wasn't her. One source claimed Camilla found out about the decision only days before the parade. And while official palace statements kept it polite, those in the know said Camilla took it personally. Watching Kate step out, receive standing ovations, and dominate the headlines was a stinging reminder that no matter how hard she worked, public affection for Kate would always overshadow hers. For Camilla, the timing couldn't have been worse. Already dealing with the pressures of managing engagements during Charles's absence, and still trying to fully shake off the public's lingering discomfort about her past, this sudden power shift made her position feel shaky. And the fact that it happened so publicly, with cameras rolling and the world watching, made it impossible to ignore. In the days following the parade, Camilla's usual warm, public persona reportedly turned guarded. She canceled an appearance later that week, officially citing private family matters. But palace insiders hinted she was still coming to terms with being so visibly sidelined. While the press praised Kate's strength and resilience, the conversation behind the scenes wasn't just about her courage, it was about strategy. Kate had made her first bold, unmistakable move in a new royal landscape. The kind of move that doesn't just happen by chance. It was planned, deliberate, and it worked. Kate's appearance was more than a comeback. It was a carefully chosen statement. And while Camilla may have felt the sting of that sidelining moment, it was only the beginning of a much bigger shift inside the palace. Rising tensions between Kate, Anne, and Camilla. If you thought the drama between Kate and Camilla was all playing out in front of the cameras, you haven't heard what's happening behind the palace walls. While the public saw smiles and polite nods, insiders paint a very different picture, one where another surprising royal figure, Princess Anne, quietly stepped into the middle of this growing power struggle. For years, Princess Anne has been known as the hardest-working royal. No fuss, no drama, just steady duty. The Princess Royal earned that reputation, and it's made her both respected and, in many ways, feared within palace circles. She's tough, she's blunt, and she doesn't waste time sugarcoating her thoughts. So when tensions between Camilla and Kate started heating up after that powerful St. Patrick's Day appearance, it was only a matter of time before Anne had something to say about it. According to insiders, Princess Anne was not impressed by the public spectacle surrounding Kate's return. While the rest of the country was singing Kate's praises and social media was flooded with messages about her bravery and elegance, Anne reportedly viewed the whole thing as too showy for a family meant to quietly serve. And this isn't just gossip. People close to the palace claim Anne made her feelings known in private conversations with senior staff and even King Charles himself. Now, this wouldn't be the first time Anne clashed with the modern approach of the younger royals. She's always believed in duty over personal branding. But what made this moment especially tense was how Camilla reacted to Anne's comments. Camilla, already feeling pushed aside by Kate's sudden surge of popularity, took Princess Anne's words as a quiet warning that the older generation of royals wasn't going to hand over the reins without a fight. Insiders say the change between these three women quickly grew icy. Behind closed doors, conversations were short. There were no friendly lunches or casual chats in the palace drawing rooms. Every meeting felt like a chess match, with Anne watching closely, Camilla growing increasingly defensive, and Kate carefully choosing her moves. What made things even messier was how King Charles handled it. Still undergoing cancer treatment, the king was in no shape to referee family disputes.
The king has been diagnosed with cancer. Let me bring you that statement from Buckingham Palace in full.
Those close to him say he leaned heavily on both Anne and Camilla to keep things running smoothly in his absence. But with Camilla feeling sidelined and Anne refusing to embrace the glamorized public comeback of Kate, the whole situation turned into a slow-burning standoff. And it wasn't just personal opinions driving this. There was real concern about what all this meant for the monarchy's future. Anne, being a stickler for tradition, reportedly worried that too much focus on Kate's personal story could turn the royal family into a celebrity brand, something she has never supported. Camilla, on the other hand, feared that every time Kate appeared in public, it chipped away at her own already fragile standing with both the public and within the palace. Sources close to the situation say one particularly awkward moment happened in late March during a private family gathering at Windsor. It was meant to be a low-key afternoon, but when the topic of upcoming royal duties came up, Princess Anne didn't hold back. She allegedly questioned whether it was wise to make one person the face of resilience when the monarchy was supposed to be about collective strength. No names were mentioned, but everyone knew who she was talking about. Camilla reportedly stayed silent during Anne's remarks, which only made things more uncomfortable. And Kate? She wasn't even in the room. Whether that was intentional or just a coincidence, no one's quite sure. But it added another layer of tension to a situation already teetering on the edge. Royal watchers quickly picked up on these undercurrents. While the media praised Kate's return, careful observers noticed the absence of supportive public statements from Princess Anne. Normally, Anne is quick to back the family in times of crisis. The silence was noticeable and telling. In the royal world, what isn't said can be just as powerful as what is. Meanwhile, Camilla found herself in a tricky position. She had long relied on Anne as an ally within the palace, especially since both women understood what it meant to marry into the firm and face years of public scrutiny. But with Anne's clear disapproval of how things were playing out, Camilla started to feel increasingly isolated. Palace insiders describe her mood during this period as frustrated and defensive. What made matters worse was that the public wasn't letting up. Every appearance by Kate was met with adoration, while Camilla's engagements drew polite but lukewarm interest. Even Anne's appearances, though less flashy, were met with quiet respect. The contrast was impossible to ignore. By mid-April, those tensions reached a quiet boiling point. Several scheduled appearances involving both Camilla and Anne were quietly rearranged to avoid overlap, while Kate's team worked carefully to position her events without clashing with the others. To outsiders, it looked like business as usual, but those close to the palace knew otherwise. Behind those historic walls, alliances were shifting. In many ways, this was a classic royal standoff, not fought with shouting matches or public statements, but with careful scheduling, veiled comments, and icy silences. The monarchy has always operated on subtle power plays, and this chapter was no different. As April turned into May, it became clear that something had to give. The family couldn't continue tiptoeing around these internal divides, especially with the public watching so closely. The question now was, who would blink first? Would Anne soften her stance? Would Camilla regain her footing? Or would Kate continue to rise while the others faded into the background? Thank you for staying with us. What do you think about Princess Anne's reaction to Kate's move? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.